The Dallas Cowboys walked into the NFL combined with more questions than answers, and by the time the week wrapped up in Indianapolis, it was clear this franchise is preparing for one of the most aggressive defensive overhauls we've seen in years. Jerry Jones working the media from his bus wasn't just classic theater, it was a signal. Dallas knows last season's defensive collapse cannot happen again, especially with a new scheme coming under coordinator Christian Parker. Every rumor, every whisper from insiders points toward a front office determined to reshape the identity of this team from the ground up, starting with free agency. The biggest revelation from Combine Week is that Dallas intends to attack free agency with defense as the priority, and one name echoing through league circles is Nakobe Dean. The idea of pulling a defensive leader away from a division rival is bold, but it also comes with risk. Dean has flashed elite instincts and command as a green dot signal caller in the middle of a defense, yet durability concerns loom large. Availability is everything for a player expected to orchestrate a new system. If Dallas commits major money to him, they are betting that his injury history is behind him and that he can anchor a unit that desperately needs stability. In Parker's scheme, the middle linebacker isn't just a tackler, he's the traffic controller, the chess piece that allows the rest of the defense to disguise intentions. The pass rush situation tells an equally urgent story. With last year's sack leader heading toward free agency and multiple edge players unsigned, Dallas is staring at a potential vacuum on the outside. Insiders believe the team will monitor the top pass rushers on the market, including high-end names who could command massive contracts. But monitoring doesn't necessarily mean spending. This front office has historically been cautious with premium free agent deals, preferring calculated additions rather than splashy headlines. Still, the possibility of adding a disruptive force opposite their existing talent could completely reshape how offenses prepare for Dallas. If they land a power rusher capable of collapsing the pocket, it would free up linebackers and defensive backs to play more aggressively. This urgency also explains why draft prospects like Auburn defensive end Keldrick Falk are firmly on the radar. Falk represents the type of physical, edge-setting presence that fits perfectly in a defense transitioning toward versatility and toughness. At 6'6" and nearly 285 pounds, he isn't just a pass rusher. He's a tone setter against the run, the kind of player who forces offenses to abandon outside concepts. His ability to slide inside on passing downs mirrors how modern defenses deploy hybrid linemen to create mismatches. The Cowboys aren't just scouting talent. They are searching for players who can execute a philosophical shift toward power and discipline at the line of scrimmage. If you're enjoying this deep dive into the Cowboys offseason blueprint, now is the time to subscribe and stay locked in, because what happens over the next few months could redefine the NFC landscape, and you won't want to miss a single development. The secondary is another area screaming for reinforcements, particularly at nickel corner and safety. The departure of a trusted slot defender last offseason left a void that was never properly filled, exposing the defense in critical situations. Parker's system relies heavily on a versatile nickel who can cover, blitz, and support the run, essentially functioning as a hybrid defender. Dallas is exploring both free agency and the draft to find a player capable of replicating the impact that elite nickel defenders have on championship defenses. Prospects who can play multiple roles, from deep safety to slot corner to box defender, are especially valuable because they allow disguises that confuse quarterbacks before the snap. Meanwhile, the front office is also working the financial chessboard behind the scenes. Jerry Jones openly acknowledged plans to restructure multiple contracts, effectively borrowing from the future to create immediate flexibility. This strategy is risky but necessary for a team trying to remain competitive while retooling. Restructuring deals for cornerstone players frees cap space now, but pushes financial obligations down the road. It's a calculated gamble that the roster will be strong enough to contend before those future bills come due. The inclusion of veteran defensive tackles in these restructuring plans signals that Dallas wants to maintain continuity up front while still adding new pieces around them. Amid all the defensive maneuvering, one of the most important negotiations involves kicker Brandon Aubrey. In today's NFL, elite special teams can be the difference between playoff positioning and heartbreak, and Aubrey has proven to be a game changer. The expectation is that Dallas will ultimately make him the highest-paid kicker in the league, a move that underscores how much the organization values reliability in close games. Locking him up long-term eliminates uncertainty at a position that many teams struggle to stabilize. There are also developments that could shape the team's immediate future on the field. Edge defender Donovan Ezeruaku is recovering from hip surgery, which will sideline him through much of the offseason program. His transition into a new role within Parker's scheme will have to accelerate once he returns, and his health will be closely monitored because the defense needs contributors who can adapt quickly. Young players stepping into expanded responsibilities often determine whether a schematic change succeeds or fails. All of these threads connect to a single reality. The Dallas Cowboys are not tweaking around the edges. They are attempting a full defensive reset while maintaining an offense capable of carrying the team through growing pains. The combine rumors, the draft evaluations, the contract restructures, and the free agency targets all point toward an organization that understands its championship window depends on fixing one side of the ball immediately. This is a high-stakes transformation, one that will test the vision of the front office and the adaptability of the roster. If you believe this team can turn the corner and re-emerge as a contender, make sure you like this video and share it with fellow fans, because the conversation around the Cowboys is about to get even louder as free agency opens and the draft approaches.